Today we're at Blue Lagoon in Iceland. It's our first day here. We just went for a swim in the lagoon. It was amazing, but really cold outside of the water.
And today is the second day of Students on Ice, and we just went to the Golden Falls. And right now we're at some geysers and we're looking at some the hot springs. Iceland is it's really peaceful. There's not a lot of people and the land is really flat, and it's a really nice place and I really like it here.
It's really beautiful, a different kind of beautiful, but really, really beautiful. We've seen the geysers go off a lot and it was really, really neat.
For the Students on Ice program, it's so meaningful because you're taking the youth, the people who are going to be here the longest, and going back to the front lines. These are the people who are going to become the leaders. These are going to be the people, you're taking the average person and you're bringing them and you're showing them this and you're sending them back to their own community with all the information and with all the knowledge to share. So it's not just someone coming from away and telling you about how the poles are melting, this faraway land is changing. It's someone from your community, someone you know, and they'll be able to relate their experiences of their hometown to this big issue.
We have 72 students from 15 different countries around the world, and an amazing team of scientists and experts, elders, musicians, artists, and teachers. So yeah, it's a pretty dynamic group.
Hi everybody, come on up. If you want to change your boots, you can do that right here. And we're here on the cliff tops of northwestern Iceland, and we're at a colony of Atlantic puffins and common murres and thick-billed murres and razorbills and black-legged kittiwakes. It's like a seabird buffet here. Pretty impressive. Really nice to see a variety of species. We're seeing different birds using different nesting techniques. Some of them are high up on the cliff ledges, some of them are in burrows, that we're finding puffins in burrows. There's lots of birds on the water that we're getting a really great look at, and just really cool to be here where there's so much life, and it shows how rich the oceans are next to Iceland, because it takes a lot of fish to feed all of these seabirds.
We've come across the biggest creature on our planet, the blue whale, this morning. We've been spending about an hour with this mother and a calf. There's a few others off in the distance, and it's a remarkable moment.
Well, a lot of people are sick right now today. So far we've done some workshops. I did one up on the top deck with Gary and Paige about the trophic levels, sort of like the food chain. And we're throwing bottles into the ocean now. They have messages on them about Students on Ice, and we're testing to see where the ocean currents are going to take them.
All right, is everybody ready to throw some bottles?
Yeah!
Greenland, just the biggest island on Earth by a distance, coastline in excess of 44,000 kilometers, second largest ice cap on Earth. So many superlatives, it really is.
Oh, it's really foggy, and we got a few fog rainbows or fog bows here in the water. You can't really see much yet, and we have a few whales off both sides of our vessel, apparently. But we should be there in a few hours, hopefully, and we'll see if we can make it through the ice to get into the fjord.
I wanted to come on this expedition because the Arctic has always been kind of that unknown frontier for me. I've always heard about how it's changing and how it's going to affect us, but I don't think it ever really hit me how much the effect the Arctic has on all of us. I wanted to learn more, get more hands-on experience with climate change because it's always interested me, but I never really fully understood all the impact it'll have on everyone, the people, the animals, cultures even. I think it's kind of already changed all of us. We've experienced things that we never thought we would, met with people from different cultures, learn from them.
This is our first landing at Greenland, so we are all pretty excited. And here in back of me you see one of the glaciers coming into the ocean. There's another ice or glacier here in this direction. It's a really small glacier, and we're gonna hike up with the group to this glacier and study it a little bit more in detail, look at the ice, look at the snow on it, measuring the albedo and measuring the discharge coming out of the glacier.
It's incredible. We have hot springs in the foreground and icebergs in the background and two little huts. And the rest of the land looks just like Nunavik or Nunavut in the Arctic, where there's a lot of, crowberries, and I see some willows also, and lots of rocks too.
One of the great things actually still in Greenland is they still use the traditional kayaks for hunting, particularly in the north, at Karnak, Shirapalak and the villages in the north. It's law that they have to hand harpoon a narwhal. They can't just shoot it, because if you just shoot a narwhal it will sink. And also with a kayak is a very, very silent approach. Narwhals are very nervous creatures, and motorboats they'd just be frightened off. Whereas a kayak can slide in very closely so the man can hand harpoon it.
I try to preserve my own culture, and I think it's really refreshing to see other people trying to do the same, because it's those traditions that define people. Like your beliefs and your values come from your culture, which essentially define you. And same way, when people grow and they have their own culture, they have their own definition of themselves.
We were out in the open sea yesterday, and the swells were not even above a foot. It was incredible. It was just flat calm in the middle of the open ocean. So as we come in, it's pretty much the same as that. And then we look up and we see this giant rock face shooting straight up out of the ocean, going 400 or 500 feet up. Just kind of all those romantic notions of exploration and the unknown frontier that we're getting into.
Somebody told me before I left that the Arctic will pull at your heart like no other place, and now I know what she meant.
Being out here by the Labrador coast, seeing whales off in the distance and seeing icebergs and looking at glaciers, and it's a really good experience. And it's not just a journey that you see in the physical world, but also a journey that you take part in deep inside.
I definitely think that the expedition has changed the students. I can see them every day learning a little more. They're so eager, the way that they take the information in and the way that they synthesize it, compare it with the experiences that they've had, the way that they share information with each other. Many of them that started out maybe a little bit shy have come out of their shells, have started to really try new things and to express themselves in new ways. It's amazing to see.
It's been the most interesting classroom I've ever been in, and it is a classroom because when you're here and you remember the mountains, and you remember the ocean, and you remember the icebergs, then you'll remember what they taught you about that mountain, and about that iceberg, and about that ocean.
When you go up to a research camp in the north, it's not just a research camp. It's a camp where researchers plug into an Inuit cultural context. So hopefully they leave here knowing a little bit more about that context in terms of how research can be successfully done in partnership with Inuit and ultimately depending upon Inuit for its success. So it's a unique thing that happens up here, and we think that it's good to expose all sorts of young people to sort of a new way of doing things in the north.
We just went on a hike to a waterfall and we got to drink fresh water from the river, and it was so awesome just being able to fill up our water bottles in a river flowing, because I've never been able to do that before because all the waters where I'm around are so polluted, and it's just amazing to be out here and to be in this sort of environment with all these people and all these different people coming together for the same cause. It's really amazing. And just being on the ship and going to all these different places that I've never been before, it's just really, really inspiring me a lot.
It's really like you with nature and with animals, and I find it's a lot easier to communicate with people out here too, because there's no distractions, and if there are, they're nature and you have to take them in. There's just so much to learn too, from like cutting fish or learning about the plants or listening to stories of the elders that are here. Like, there's so much to take in, and it makes me really happy to be here.
You smell the smoke, you see them cooking, and I mean, you can only wish that life would be like that every day, because you never have this back at home. You're surrounded by computers and TV, and I think this is a first hands-on experience.
It's lovely. Oh my goodness, I love it.
What are we eating?
I ate fish. I ate makta. That's walrus blubber. And I ate some caribou. Like, it's really nice. You get to talk to people. You get to enjoy the food, and there's like a great view here.
Even though I'm not Inuit, it's something that I really hold close to my heart now. And I think I'm really going to miss having it around, like hearing the girls throat singing just in the hallways. I'm really going to miss that.